It's William Yanish with Under the Bleachers. We have Christopher Ransom from Draft Utopia Network as my co-host, and the NFL schedule just dropped, so we are definitely going to hit it. What are you up to, Chris? How you been, man?
I'm doing well. I'm just going through the grid of games. I've been typing the grid of games in notes because it's not up yet on Playoff Predictors usually does update the simulator and the schedule every year. I don't think they have it updated yet on Playoff Predictors. They probably will have it updated on Saturday, so I can start double checking my data on Saturday. But I've gone through the entire AFC while we were when I got the photo of the grid at 7:49, I started going through each division as quickly as I could to give you estimates and projections. I have the entire AFC done. I just got started on the NFC, William. I don't know when I'll be done with the NFC. But
we have faith,
you want me to
man.
pull up the schedule on NFL.com? We can go through the games.
Let's do it. Let's do
okay.
It, everybody just joining. We're going to have a good show tonight. Gotta love this. Kind of a switch up for Under the Bleachers, usually doing college football stuff. And I got my first evaluation done, the tight end.
We can look at the college football schedule at the end, or maybe that's next week's show. We look at the college football schedule because some of the game times for week 1 came out last week. So you can do that next week if you want.
I think that definitely on the mark, man. Let's roll with it.
All right. So I'm going to screen share the schedule. I'm going to do something we rarely do at Under the Bleachers. I'm going to screen share the NFL schedule because I'm going to give William the floor to talk about what games, because we'll probably go through part of this on Saturday, whether it's the first 6 weeks or the first 9 weeks. It depends how William, Joey, and I feel, number one. Number two, it does come down to the scheduling here. So I'm going to pull up the schedule here, and basically, I do not want in-game alerts. No, thank you.
Yeah. Well, in my house, the Boondock Saints is playing right now. I was going to kind of throw that in there and play off it.
That's a great movie.
I was like, we gotta have
actually never tried it with this view.
Oh, this is interesting. That's all right, man. It's definitely different.
I'm trying to turn the screen share on. Come on, turn back on. Schedule. No, we don't want demo. We want welcome. And I want to be able to scroll through the schedules for each of these games. Come on, restream. Quit screwing around.
Rodney Cox is going to come
on. Oh, no, we're not doing NFL ways to watch. We're not doing that. No, and we're not going back on restream. This is being a colossal dick to me. Not a minor dick, a major dick. So you're going to load. You're going to do what I tell you. And I'm a human being and you're a human doing. You, the computer, are a human doing. You don't have feelings and you do what you're told. Ugh, damn it.
Jeremy, if you want to get beat,
I'm trying to click on welcome. I'm trying to click on welcome, and it's stuck in demo. Look, it is the stupid schedule release is dicking around in demo mode, and it's pissing me off. I want this thing permanently on welcome.
Right,
there we go. There we go. That's a lot better. Now, can Restream not be a piece of crap and do what I tell it to do? And I'm not blaming Restream. I'm blaming freaking schedule. I don't want ways to watch NFL.com. I want the freaking games. The games. Can you do that? Can you not be a jerk to me and load the freaking games? I'm not asking. I'm instructing. I'm telling you this is what's expected. Now do it. Okay. Now, here we have the games for week 1. I was watching
some Jordan James film earlier.
All right. You see the games, William, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, good. All right. So here for week 1, we've got Cowboys at Eagles. Cowboys at Eagles, Chiefs at Chargers in Brazil, Buccaneers, Falcons, Bengals, Browns, Dolphins, Colts, Panthers, Jaguars, Raiders, Patriots, Cardinals, Saints, Steelers, Jets, Giants, Commanders, Titans, Broncos, 49ers, Seahawks, Lions, Packers, Texans, Rams, and Ravens, Bills. Is there anything on that group that stands out to you?
I like the Seahawk game for my Niners starting out. That is going to set the tone for the first few weeks of the season. We'll get further into that here in a minute on when we get through this week anyway. But that game definitely stands out. I am seeing a lot. Doesn't it seem like there's usually more? Bro. A lot of these games are just not rivalry. I mean, look at our thumbnail. We've got, Joe Burrow and Josh
Allen. That's in week 14. I can pull up. Give me a number between because obviously I'll pull up week 2, but we're probably not going to get through every week of the season within this show. So
okay,
we'll
by
do
the time week
2, and then I'm going to let William
around,
pick a number between 3 and I'm going to let William pick a number between 3 and 3 and 14 to speed this up. But yeah, Commanders Packers is the first Amazon Prime game. Browns play Ravens, Jaguars play Bengals, Patriots play Dolphins in Miami.
What's happening with that lawsuit? Have you heard about that lawsuit?
What lawsuit?
That they were talking about the apps, and that's why they're putting games on Amazon Prime and everything. They were talking about having to bust it down to where you could buy like a single game for whatever, a couple bucks, or you could. It didn't matter.
I'm honestly not sure.
That was going on last year. It was last year, but they were quieting it up quite a bit, man.
So, yeah, Bears play the Lions. Seahawks play the Steelers. Bills play the Jets. Broncos play the Colts. I think the game of the week in week 2 is obviously the Super Bowl rematch between the Eagles and the Chiefs. But not much else stands out outside of that.
No, not at all. There's going to be some teams out there that are going to be 0-2 though, and feeling it.
I agree.
And like I said, that's why I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick week 5 when this is over, because that's when you really start seeing, the 1-4 teams versus, the 4-1.
Texans Jaguars could be a fun week 3 game with Brian Thomas Jr., with Travis Hunter. Patriots have a really easy strength of schedule to start the year. I think the Patriots might get in as a wild card. I'll explain why on Saturday, but if they can beat Miami in week 2, they get the Raiders at home, they get the Steelers at home, and they get the Panthers at home in the first 4 weeks of the season. So they could be 4-0 heading into Buffalo in week 5 if they can beat the Dolphins. But I think the Dolphins probably win that game at home. But Patriots do play the Dolphins to end the regular season in New England. So Miami's going to have to go to freezing cold New England end the year. I think the Patriots probably win that game. Cam Ward, Anthony Richardson. Cam Ward, Anthony Richardson could be fun in week 3. 49ers, Cardinals. Lions, Ravens is probably the most interesting week 3 game on this list. The Lions-Ravens game, that's probably the most fascinating, but Dolphins-Bills looks good as well. Williams said he wanted week 5, so we'll skip week 4. I'll briefly mention week 4, because I think we can go through week 4 pretty quickly, but William did want to get to week 5. All right, because I think the Chiefs play the Ravens in week 4. That's a fun game. Browns, Lions, Ohio versus Michigan, Vikings, Steelers in Dublin, Ireland. First NFL game in Ireland. There are some things that stand out. Cowboys host the Packers. But overall, outside of Ravens, Chiefs, I think it's a very bland, very boring week 4. So we'll get to week 5 as William requested.
This is totally sticking out, dude. Like for real. I'm glad I picked 5, because right now we got to start talking about what is happening. I mean, they're obviously saving all the rivalry games for the end of the season, to pump up the ratings. So,
and then we got 49ers Rams on Amazon Prime on October 2nd. Vikings play the Browns in London, Tottenham, I believe. Texans play the Ravens. there are some nice elimination games on here. The Lions-Bengals is my Super Bowl prediction. I do have the Lions winning the regular season meeting, but I have the Bengals winning the Super Bowl on NBC. Patriots-Bills. That game's the Sunday night game in Week 5. And look, if the Patriots beat the Dolphins, it's going to be 4-0 New England versus 4-0 Buffalo, because Patriots have 3 home games against the Raiders, the Steelers, and the Panthers. And those are all winnable games, William. Those are all games the Patriots should find a way to win. And then the Monday night game is Chiefs-Jaguars. So outside of the Monday night, Sunday night games, and maybe Ravens-Texans, I think it's kind of a boring Week 5. It's a good Thursday night game, 49ers-Rams, good rivalry, and then you got the Browns. So there's a few fun games in Week 5. I'll say this, Week 5 is better than Week 4, but I don't think it's as good as Weeks 1, 2, or 3.
They went at it last year. They had a great game, and I was excited to watch it, and it was every bit of what I thought it would be. I mean, you could see May still learning, but
it looks like Roger Goodell huffing paint. Eagles-Giants Thursday night game. Giants, Broncos, Jets in London. Browns, Steelers, 49ers, Buccaneers, Bengals, Packers. Lions, Chiefs is the Sunday night game. But outside of that, and maybe a Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels rematch, nothing excites me about Week 6. I think Week 6 might be the worst week outside of Week 4.
Yeah. This is, I can see where this is going.
Weeks 1 through 3 were amazing. Week 4 sucked. Week 5 was decent. Week 6 sucked outside of the night games. Good Amazon Prime game, but here between Steelers, Bengals, I do like that for October 16th.
Who's going to be their quarterback?
Mason Rudolph versus Joe Burrow, unless Mason Rudolph gets benched for Will Howard. But, if the Steelers... let me look at the Steelers. I've got the Steelers finishing 5-12.
Howard can play, man.
I got the Steelers finishing 5-12, but I'm looking. If they lose the Jets, they beat Seattle, they lose to New England, they beat the Vikings in Dublin, Ireland, they're 2-2. They wouldn't bench. They'd be 3-2 if they beat the Browns after the bye week, and they play the Bengals, so they would be 3-3. I think they would beat the Packers and Colts, but then they would probably I have them losing I have them losing the Ravens. So then how did I get 5 wins? Versus Cleveland, they lose to Green Bay. They lose to Indy, or they beat Indy. So then, they lose the Bengals, they're 3-3. Beat Green Bay. They beat Indy, they lose to Green Bay, they lose to the Chargers, they lose to the Bengals, they lose to the Bears, lose to the Bills, lose to the Ravens. So, yes, and they beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins is the 5th team they beat. So, okay, so that's where I got the 5 wins. But I have them starting the year, the Steelers, I think the Steelers probably start Will Howard against Buffalo or the Ravens on the road, or maybe they start him in Week 15 against the Dolphins late in the year, because I think Mason Rudolph is going to start most of the year. Because the Steelers have an early easy schedule, William. That's the problem. The Steelers' early schedule is easy. The end of their schedule is the pain in the butt. So, as much as I'd like to see Will Howard make his debut against the Bengals on Amazon Prime, I don't think it's in the cards. Because I don't think the Steelers will have a losing record by then when you look at the schedule.
That could be like that May and Allen matchup that we were just talking about. Burrow and Will Howard. If that's his first game starting, I mean, that would drive the fans up the wall, especially if he would win.
Exactly.
Like I said, that's all he does is win. And he has all the metrics to prove that he can be an NFL
Buccaneers Lions is a really fun Monday night game.
Might be limited,
but outside of that, Week 7's kind of bland. Yeah. I mean, Raiders Chiefs, pretty one-sided rivalry at this point. So I'm looking at this Week 7 outside of the Thursday night game and the Monday night game. I'm not really excited. Penix goes to San Francisco in Week 7. That could be a fun Sunday night game. But overall, not much to look forward to. I think NFL's making some weeks, like the first 3 weeks of the season are amazing. And then the rest of the weeks, they're making those weeks suck so that they can drive the ratings up when it comes to holiday weeks. I think that's the whole thought process, William.
Yep.
Let's put good games
Holidays
on during
and the last
Halloween,
2 weeks when they're
Thanksgiving,
like
and
playoffs.
Christmas. That's pretty much Vikings are going to play the Chargers on Amazon Prime in week 8.
The playoffs usually start the last 2 weeks of the season.
That's true. Commanders and Chiefs is a fun Monday night game, but outside of that, I see a lot of one-sided matchups in week 8. Week 8's probably the worst week of the ones I've seen so far, and I'm not trying to be subjective, but that's just how I'm looking at it so far.
Right. No, I definitely agree with you on that. I mean,
Vikings-Chargers could be a decent
100%
Thursday night
nailed
game,
in.
but it's not an eye-popping Thursday night game. Now, week 9, on the other hand, looks very exciting. We have Ravens at Dolphins in Miami, Bears, Bengals Sunday afternoon game, Vikings, Lions. You've got Falcons at Patriots in New England, Penix versus May, Broncos, Texans, Knicks versus Stroud. Richardson versus Steelers could be entertaining in Pittsburgh. I don't think it's very entertaining. Cam Ward versus Herbert in Jaguars play the Raiders in LA. Chiefs play the Bills. Seahawks play the Commanders. And then the Cardinals play the Cowboys in Monday Night Football. And if those Sunday night games live up to the hype, this could be a good week 9. If the Sunday and Monday night games live up to the hype, this could be the best week since week 3. That's the sad thing, William. So week 9 looking very strong compared to weeks 4 through 8. But we'll get
what the playoffs could look like about week 9, week 10, somewhere in there.
We get Raiders, Broncos on Amazon Prime. Jaguars play the Texans.
That's always a great game.
That Jaguars, Texans in Houston. Bills and Dolphins in Miami. That's a good rivalry. Chargers host the Steelers. Lions host the Commanders host the Lions. 49ers host the Rams. Seahawks host the Cardinals. And Packers host the Eagles. So I do like the late afternoon games for week 10. I love the late afternoon slate and the Sunday night games for week 10. But outside, I hate the early games for week 10. And Broncos Raiders could end up sucking, but I'll give it a chance in prime time. But outside of the Amazon Prime games,
it's rivalry.
The Amazon Prime games, the NFC West rivalries, the Sunday night game, the Monday night game. Not very excited about week 10 outside of the 4 p.m. games, the Monday night game, and the Thursday night game. But it's better than week 6 and 8.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
No. I totally got that hashtag free Jay Kaner.
Week 11, Jets play the Patriots on Thursday night. Justin Fields versus Drake May. I think that's a fun Thursday night game. Division rivalry. Buccaneers, Bills. That is my Super Bowl 61 prediction. So I might I'm picking the Bills to beat the Buccaneers. But if a team does ruin my, I have the Bills going 17-0. If a team does ruin the Bills streak, I think it's going to be the Buccaneers. So I really like that matchup. Maybe a potential Super Bowl 61 preview. Bears, Vikings, Caleb versus McCarthy part 2. I love the part 1 on Monday night. Chargers, Jaguars. So 3, Bengals, Steelers in Pittsburgh. That's always a fun rivalry. 49ers, Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, Ravens at Browns, Chiefs at Broncos, Lions at Eagles on Sunday night, and then Cowboys, Raiders in Las Vegas on Monday night. I think week 11 looks really strong. It's up there. If Cowboys Raiders becomes an all-time classic, week 11's up there with the first 3 weeks of the season. Because I think this is a really low-key underrated week, William, week 11.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. Very much is.
Week 12, the NFL's making us wait for week 12. Bills at Texans on Thursday Night Football. Ravens host the Jets. Most of these games look very bland. Vikings, Packers could be fun. Yeah, but outside of Vikings, Packers, and Buccaneers, Rams, this is a very sucky. This is a very sucky week 12. But I think the NFL's going with a very sucky week 12 because they want to have that kick-ass week 13, that high on Thanksgiving. They want to have that emotional high on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because Thanksgiving, that's a ratings driver.
That's my favorite holiday
They
ever,
blatantly
man.
put bad games on in week 12. And Eagles, Cowboys, and Dallas could be fun too. But Eagles, Cowboys.
Football and food.
Yeah, that's true. Bryce Young gets to play on Brock Purdy on Monday Night Football before Thanksgiving too. Bryce Young on Monday Night Football.
Hey.
Packers, Lions, Chiefs, Cowboys, and Bengals, Ravens. That's an amazing slate of Thursday night games. That might be the greatest Thanksgiving slate of games I've seen in my lifetime. I don't ever remember being this pumped up about 3 games on Thanksgiving. That is an amazing slate of games. Packers at Lions,
dude, I'm gonna
Cowboys,
love it.
and Bengals at Ravens. And then on Black Friday, we get Caleb Williams versus Jalen Hurts. So, Caleb, you don't get to do any Black Friday shopping this year. You don't get to do any Black Friday shopping with the supermodels you went to dinner with. You get to play the Eagles on Black Friday. It's going to be amazing.
I do all my Christmas shopping on Thanksgiving on eBay. There's auctions ending everywhere, and no one is online, bro. They're all watching football and eating.
That's good.
I love it.
Great. But yeah, Bears.
Bought my kid an autographed Peyton Manning jersey
Texans
for $90, bro.
Could be interesting if the Colts are still in the division race with Anthony Richardson by then. Not saying they will or won't be.
You know how I feel about that situation.
Jaguars, Titans, in Tennessee, and Patriots host the Giants on Monday night. I am going to predict we will see Jackson Dart by week 9 when we're going to see Jackson Dart because the Giants' schedule is just brutal. We're going to see Jackson Dart by December 1st. He might make his debut against the Patriots. That'll be the latest he makes his debut, but I think it'll be before then, but I think December 1st would be the very latest Jackson Dart makes his debut.
That's how we be rolling, man. I definitely agree 100%.
All right, 5 weeks of this left. I thought week 13, week 11, week 9 were all really strong. But outside of that, I think some of the weeks have been weak. Cowboys at Lions on December 4th on Amazon Prime. Steelers play the Ravens. Bears play the Packers. Saints play the Buccaneers. Bengals play the Bills on Fox. Bengals play the Bills on Fox. Texans play the Chiefs. And then the Eagles play the Chargers. Love week 14. Very strong slate of games heading into December. Especially with the afternoon games at 4:25, the Sunday night game. I love the Broncos-Raiders matchup in Vegas. I did not mean to click on Rams-Cardinals, but that's another fun matchup. I think the Cardinals could steal that one from the Rams. But yeah.
I love watching them beat up on each other, too. The Cardinals had one hell of a draft.
I mean, I think week 14 looks really good.
Dangerous.
Week 14 does look good, though. So I am optimistic about that. And they're doing the Bills' schedule here. I've got the Bills at 17-0. I think they will finish with a perfect regular season, but they will lose in the playoffs to the Bengals with the bye. Because there'll just be too much pressure on them to complete the perfect season, and they'll choke if they draw a team like the Bengals.
There we go, man.
Falcons, Buccaneers, Thursday night game.
Real.
Bengals, Falcons, Buccaneers, Penix versus Baker, Browns versus Bears. Shadur versus Caleb Williams, the NFL version, and the Bears with Caleb beat Shadur and the Browns. Ravens play the Bengals.
Okay, man. Check this out with Cleveland. Dylan Gabriel is not good enough to start over Shadur.
I know. Shadur's moved up to number 3 on the depth chart. And if they trade Pickett, Shadur will be number 2, and he'll be starting by week 5. But I think this is the latest he'll be starting. Shadur versus Caleb. I think it's going to happen. We will see Shadur Sanders versus Caleb Williams. But that's going to be fun. Ravens play the Bengals. Cardinals with Texans. Kyler Murray versus Stroud. Chargers, Chiefs. Bills at Patriots in New England. This is a very underrated week. Packers, Broncos in Denver. This is a very underrated Week 15, but I think the Sunday night and Monday night games are kind of bland.
They got
Vikings
Dylan.
at Cowboys is kind of a weak Sunday night game. Dolphins at Steelers on Monday night's also kind of weak. But I think this Week 15 might have the best early slate of games the entire year. That's the thing, William. Raiders, Eagles, Commanders, Giants. Outside of those last two, this might be the best early slate of games in the entire season in Week 15. Like the best 1 p.m. slate of games. 3 more weeks to go. Rams and Seahawks on December 18th. 2 games on December 19th. I'm guessing the I'm saying this because I'm thinking the MLS draft for 2026 is going to be on December 19th. So they're going to put NFL games on the day of the MLS draft. That pisses me off. Like, I'm sorry, William, that pisses me off.
Coffee, bro. Make friends with it.
I know, but I got to grade all the picks as the draft comes in.
And
if the game's on while I'm streaming the MLS draft, I'm going to miss it. But I'm guessing those are going to be night games because the MLS draft was during the day.
Do you want me to hang out with you, bro? Do you want me to hang out with you? I mean, I got your back, bro.
All right. I mean, if we do a live stream, I can update the MLS picks as they come in, and you can update the NFL games as they come in. But the NFL's doing this to take the spotlight away from the college football playoff. Think about it. December 20th, Saturday, December 20th, that's the day the college football playoff's going to start. College football probably went to the NFL and said, look, we want the Saturday all to ourselves. So the NFL, because of college football, the NFL is now going to butt in on the MLS draft and put games on to go head-to-head with it. Unless the MLS is smart and moves their draft back to January, which I think they should. They probably won't. But I think if the MLS was smart, they would move their super draft back to January instead of having the 2026 MLS draft in 2025, like they've been doing the last 3 years.
We'll use it to our advantage, bro. We will use it to our advantage.
But it sounds like that's what's going to happen because the college 2025, I am going to look up the 25-26 college football playoff schedule. Look right now.
Let's see. Dylan Gabriel is a career backup, and Shedeur will be starting. It's going to flip like that, and that's just how it's going to be. But the Browns are doing Browns things up there, drafting another quarterback, and it is what it is. It's going to put a lot of asses in the seats, and it's going to make a lot of
There's
money.
There's going to be one game on December 19th. There's going to be one game on December 19th, but there's going to be 3 games on December 20th for the college football playoff. And I'm guessing ABC is going to air both of those games on December 19th. That way they can think about it, William. If you put one game on ABC on December 19th and then you put 2 NFL games on ABC before that, you can really milk the ratings for the college football playoff. You can really bolster those ratings if you think about it, especially if Eagles Commanders is on ABC. If you put Eagles Commanders on ABC at 4:30 right before the college football playoff game, the ratings are going to skyrocket.
That's when everybody is getting home, bro, back east, and it's just...
And nobody's really going to care about Packers Bears. That's either going to be 1 p.m. on ABC or they're going to put that on Amazon
Washington, man. Washington for sure.
Yeah, Washington, Philadelphia is going to be 4:30 ABC. They haven't decided what cable network it's going to be, but it's going to be 4:30 ABC. Think about it. The college football playoff game is going to be Friday the 19th on ABC. They're either going to put that game on ABC at 1, or they're going to put that on Amazon Prime around the same time as the Eagles Commanders game. There's no other way to spin that, William. There really isn't when you think about it. Patriots play the Ravens. Chiefs play the Titans. Steelers play the Lions. And then the Colts play the 49ers in Monday Night Football in Week 16. Anthony Richardson gets to play Brock Purdy Monday Night Football.
Fantasy championship.
2 more weeks left. 2 more weeks of this left. But yeah, I'm guessing the MLS 2026. Well, they might dissolve the MLS draft because the MLS draft in 2024, the ratings were so bad. Apple TV said, "Fuck you, we're not airing this live on TV." And I had to live stream the picks on X, find out what the picks
PG-13.
were. But Thursday, December 25th, we have a triple header. Cowboys Commanders on Netflix, Lions Vikings on Netflix, Broncos Chiefs on Amazon Prime. And here's where NFL
Ladies
got
and
it wrong.
gentlemen,
The
plug your
games on
ears.
Amazon, the games on Netflix are much worse than the games on Netflix last year. Because last year you had Ravens Texans, you had
dude.
Steelers Chiefs. I don't think these games are going to grab the same ratings, the same appeal. I don't think these games are going to have the same appeal personally. And Ron Steele
Another
Flyers
series.
just retweeted our show. I appreciate that, Ron. Always kind of you to retweet Under the Bleachers. Steelers Browns is a 1 p.m. game on the 28th. Patriots Jets is a 1 p.m. game, snow game. Eagles Bills is 4:25. And then we have games not yet scheduled. And I'm guessing some of these are going to be on December 20th. I'm guessing the
They're
NFL
gonna be
is going to butt in. NFL's going to butt in and put some of these games on the 20th, even with the college football playoff on. You just know they are, William. Even if it hasn't been officially scheduled yet. Well, technically, they could still put some of these games on Sunday, but they're not scheduled. But I feel like they might butt in and put some of these games on a Saturday. We'll see. But the games not scheduled yet for Week 17 include Cardinals, Bengals, Ravens, Packers. And then Week 18, William and I will attempt to predict the final game of the season. We'll look at the entire slate of division rivalries, and we'll attempt to predict final game of the season. Is there a game that's going to have division implications on the line? I'm looking so far. Right now, I would say Commanders-Eagles is going to be the Sunday night game, especially if the division's still in the line.
Yeah,
but I mean, I don't really see another game outside of Commanders Eagles last year's NFC title that you can put on Sunday night. Maybe Packers Vikings if they're fighting for a playoff spot, or maybe Lions Bears if the Bears are in the NFC North hunt in Week 18. But I don't think that's going to happen. But hey,
I heard that laugh, bro. Those fans are some of the best fans in the world. They put up with some incredible things. Does that pretty much wrap it up?
Pretty much. I'll give you guys. You want me to give you my updated standings, or should we just wrap it up? I can always reveal my standings on Saturday when I'm done looking at the grid and the schedule of games.
On Saturday, for sure. We can wrap it up here. Thanks everyone for joining. Anybody watching, tune in next week. We got Rodney Cox, a scout that's coming on here shortly.
College football schedule probably
there's
after
Saturday
that.
Shenanigans. Yes.
Saturday on Draft Utopia, we will have results of the NBA draft lottery. I haven't started the NBA mock yet, but we'll have the results of the lottery, reaction to the Mavericks moving all the way up to number 1. It's crazy, but we'll have that on Saturday, and we'll have either the first 6 or the first 9 weeks of the draft simulator on Saturday, where I double check my data. Because I can look through the grid all I want, but if the data on the playoff predictor simulator is not congruent with the data on the grid, then it means I missed something and I got to go back and find out what I missed. But we'll figure that out then when the time comes. All right. And we'll be back next Wednesday with another new episode of Under the Bleachers, where we have Rocky Cox on and college football schedule at the end. So we'll see you then. So long.